Hello, all you wrap up lovers out there, and welcome to Undeclared Bajor.
There you go. No confusion about the meaning of wrap up, unless it's Christmas wrapping up. No, it's fine.
All you wrapping paper lovers out there, this is making it more confusing than anything because they didn't hear those previous takes. I can't even put them in because they're deleted. Anyway, this is Undeclared Bajor, the best Star Trek Deep Space Nine discussion podcast in the universe. My name is Fletcher. About to say hello is Data.
What up?
Today we are wrapping up like a Christmas present. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 6. I almost said Episode 6.
There was an Episode 6 in there.
True. And I didn't write a little synopsis of the season. Let's just say it was an interesting season. We had some ups, we had some downs. We had some very high ups and some very low downs.
Yeah, we really did.
We had some arcs. We had the 6-part opening arc, and we had some interesting standalones, and we had some stuff that doesn't really make sense if a war is going on.
You mean that mourning for Morn doesn't make sense when there's a war going on? I don't know if that's the best example.
Well, you always have time to mourn for Morn. I don't know if you have time to go on a picnic with your family.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway. So, I thought I'd open up with some stats of the season. How would you imagine, without doing any math, our ratings for this season compared to other seasons?
I would have thought that they would be higher than most of the other seasons on average, but then we had like a couple of ensigns from me in a row, so I mean, that might have brought the entire average down some for all I know.
So, okay, let's do this in reverse order. So, Season 5, our average rating was 2.9 pips.
Okay.
Season 4, our average rating was 2.54 pips.
Okay.
Season 3, it was 2.59 pips.
Yeah, interesting.
Season 2, 2.55. Season 1, 2.36.
So, mostly like ramping up, which is what I probably would have expected. 3 was a little higher than 4, I guess, but
right.
Okay.
This season we have 2.56, which is pretty much right there with Seasons 2 and 4, and a lot lower than Season 5.
That's interesting.
Don't know what that means. Again, if I was better at statistics, we could put together some interesting analysis, but anyway. So let's look at, what do we usually do first? The top 5 or the bottom 3?
I think what we usually do is whichever one is more straightforward is first.
Okay. Well, let's do the top 5 first.
Okay.
Because I think the bottom 3 is like funner. Okay, so the thing is, we have a very clear number 1 and a very clear number 2.
All right.
And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tied.
Wow.
For third place with 6 total pips.
So in the pale moonlight, obviously the top.
Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and start at the top. So yeah, in the pale moonlight is the number 1. With, I guess if you count your admiral as 9 pips, or as 5 pips, it's a total of 9 pips.
How'd you count it for the average for the season?
I counted it as 5.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So yeah, the only possible 9 pip episode.
Right.
And then I guess Rocks and Shoals we both gave a captain to?
Yep.
So that's got to be your straightforward number 2, right?
Yep. And then the ones that are tied are A Time to Stand, which was the season premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Favor the Bold, Sacrifice of Angels.
Mm-hmm.
You Are Cordially Invited.
Okay.
Statistical Probabilities. The Magnificent Ferengi. Who Mourns for Morn. and Far Beyond the Stars.
Wow. Okay.
So all of those, either we both gave a commander to, or one of us gave a captain and the other gave a lieutenant.
Okay. So why don't if we're going to try to come down on a number 3, why don't we pull out the ones that someone rated low as lieutenant, and
All
go
right.
more for the ones that we kind of agree on more. So that's you're cordially invited. I gave a captain and you gave a lieutenant, and then Far Beyond the Stars was the other way around. So I guess we pull those out.
Yep. Okay. And then, so yeah, what's left is A Time to Stand, Favor the Bold, Sacrifice of Angels, Statistical Probabilities, The Magnificent Ferengi, and Who Mourns for Morn.
All good options.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of those, I think Statistical Probabilities is a standout for me.
It's like, okay, so Statistical Probabilities and Who Mourns for Morn are so different from the other ones on the list.
True.
That they feel like they stand out more to me.
Yeah. I thought, this is looking back many weeks later, but I thought as an episode, Who Mourns for Morn was relatively weak. When you get past the Morn is dead gimmick, which I think is most of where my commander came from.
Okay.
I may revisit it and think differently, but
Sure.
I think the Magnificent Ferengi is also high in the running for me. But the thing is, I barely remember even what happened in A Time to Stand.
Yeah, well, and we're like the whole 6-parter.
Uh-huh.
We one of those is number 2 overall already. So I'm like, well, let's look outside of that maybe, because it's like the one big story kind of. So,
okay. So
I kind of like Statistical Probabilities as a number 3.
Okay, I can live with that. And how about Magnificent Ferengi as number 4?
Yeah, okay.
And then we can put Who Mourns for Morn at number 5. How's that?
I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Honestly, I forgot we were doing the top 5 for a second. I was thinking top 3, and yeah, there's plenty of room in the top 5 for everybody.
Yeah, we usually do top 5 and bottom 3.
And bottom 3, yeah, okay.
Let me lock those in before I forget what they are. So we're calling Statistical Probabilities 3.
Yep.
We're calling Magnificent Ferengi 4, and we're calling Who Mourns for Morn 5.
Okay.
So that is sorted. That is the official ranking. No ranking is better or more official than that.
Until later when we change our minds.
Yep. And as far as the bottom 3, we have a tie for third to last between Change of Heart and Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I know which one of those I dislike more. But
I'm actually having to remind myself what those were. 1 second.
Yeah, Change of Heart was Worf and Dax go on a mission.
Oh yeah.
You gave that one a lieutenant junior grade. I gave it a full lieutenant. And then Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night was we just use the Orb of Time to go back and see.
And Dukat bangs Kira's mom, right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Dukat bangs Kira. Right. How Gul Dukat Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
And that's one you gave full lieutenant and I gave lieutenant junior grade.
Oh, man.
So obviously that one's my least favorite of those two.
Yeah. You know what? I'm okay with that one being third to last.
Okay. We'll go with that. And then second to last is your all-time least favorite episode.
Yep.
Times Orphan. Which, looking back, I might have even... I don't know if I'd go like all the way to ensign with it, but I might have even gone lower than lieutenant. And then absolute last, which I'm 100% comfortable with, is Prophet and Lace.
Prophet and Lace. Yep. I'm interested to hear what happens when you get to the IMDb ratings for these.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can go through these right now. So, Prophet and Lace got a 5.8, which is
pretty low for a Deep Space Nine episode.
I think, as we mentioned when we were recording that review, is second to last on IMDb after Resurrection, which was 5.7.
Yes, I remember that now.
We both gave Resurrection a lieutenant. Although, again, that's so long ago, I have mostly just negative memories about that episode. Times Orphan got a 6.1, so not a whole lot better. And remember, like, anything lower than 6 on
Yeah.
IMDb is just garbage.
For a Deep Space Nine episode, yeah.
Right. And our third to last, which was Wrong's Darker Than Death or Night, got a 6.8. And Change of Heart got a 7.1.
So, yeah, it's not that far off of where we put things for the most part. Resurrection is the one that's a little bit out of place, but the rest seems kind of pretty close.
Yeah. And of our top ones, so our number 5 was Who Mourns for More, and that has a 7.6, which I think sounds
not bad.
I think it sounds about right. Magnificent Ferengi had an 8.1, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little bit higher than I would have guessed, but I don't know. That was a pretty fun episode. Statistical Probabilities only has a 7.5, which I think might be a little bit lower than I expect, but it's not like outrageous.
Yeah.
Rocks and Shoals has an 8.5, and
jumping up there.
In the Pale Moonlight has 9.4. In the Pale Moonlight is the top episode of the season. I imagine it's the top episode of the whole series. I didn't look at the whole series, but
yeah, I'm looking at it now too. So 9.4 is the top, and then it comes down to 9.0 for Sacrifice of Angels.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Let's see.
Everything, there's nothing too surprising. I 2 of them I highlighted are Sacrifice of Angels, which has a 9, and we only each gave it a commander. But again, that's so long ago, I can barely comment on that.
I do like that IMDb has agrees with us that pretty much 5 of the 6 opening episodes are all kind of top shelf, and Sons and Daughters does not make it into that top area of IMDb either, just like it didn't for us. So I'm glad to know that we can agree on that at least.
Yep. And one other I had highlighted was Inquisition, which you gave a lieutenant commander, I gave a lieutenant, and IMDb gives 8.2. So
wow. Yeah, they like that one better than Tears of the Prophets. Well, yeah.
I mean, I guess I kind of understand, because that's the episode that introduces Section 31. But
yeah.
I think you and I both agreed as kind of like a story, it was a little bit meh.
Yeah. You know what? I think that this may be some of the closest we've come to agreeing with IMDb's ratings. Our bottom 3 are in the bottom 4 on IMDb. The only one that is different is Resurrection. And then, obviously our top one agrees with their top one.
So not much controversy this season.
Not too much.
No Dax. If anything, the tastes of the Deep Space Nine fans are kind of dialed in and consistent this season. Yeah. So,
if any, it looks like Who Mourns for More and Statistical Probabilities both kind of fall in the mid-range for the season on there, which we didn't agree with. But other than that, I think that it's pretty much on target.
And usually we kind of try to do a condensed season, but I don't even know how to start doing that with this set of episodes.
You got the big 6-parter. You can cut Sons and Daughters out of that and not lose much. But beyond that, I guess you could just jump straight to Sacrifice of Angels, but you're going to miss a lot. You're Cordially Invited seems important to me overall.
Yeah.
No one needs Resurrection ever.
Yeah, we honestly, can get rid of that.
You could probably do without Statistical Probabilities or Magnificent Ferengi or Who Mourns for Morn. You could get rid of One Little Ship and Honor Among Thieves and Wrong's Darker Than Death or Night. Maybe The Reckoning, maybe not. I don't know. Valiant's not really necessary. Prophet and Lace times Orphan. You could cut a lot of stuff out of this season.
Yeah, it's just it's a little hard to preserve all those through lines though, the Dominion War story, the Worf and Dax story. I can do without the Kira and Odo story. But,
oh yeah, no joke. But you're right; it's sprinkled in through a lot of these episodes are these different storylines. Yeah,
so
that's what happens when you start getting, you start getting, what do you call it? The word has escaped me. Where you're serialized, where you're telling a story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's your favorite episode of Lost, or how can you condense Lost? You can't do it. So
Yeah, no. I bet people could come up with a favorite episode of Lost.
I bet there's like fan edits of Lost that
probably. Yeah.
like take pieces out of each episode and like condense them, but
I'm going to Google best Lost episode and see what people say. The first thing that pops up is The Constant.
oh yeah, that was not the first Desmond time travel episode. That's the one where he has to get Penny's phone number in the past so that he can call her in the present, right?
Man, I don't know.
From the boat.
I'm looking at the summary now. Hold on. Desmond and Saeed are being flown by Frank Lapidus to the freighter, where the mission is set. After going through turbulence, his consciousness unexpectedly travels through time between 1996 and 2004. The communications officer, George Minkowski, who is unstuck in time like Desmond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Like, because going through the time field around the island or something unsticks him in time. And he has to, like, talk to Penny in the present so that his mind will, like, anchor to that constant and stop him jumping back and forth in time before he, like, dies.
I love... Hughes and Lindelof admitted that they took some inspiration from the final episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, where Captain Picard jumps between 3 time frames.
Oh, yeah. Now that you mention it.
So that's what Google said is the best episode of Lost, for however much you trust Google.
There's some good episodes, but mostly you don't like watch Lost for the individual episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All that to say, yes, this is kind of a thing about serialization, is like the individual episodes kind of stop mattering as much or whatever. So do we have any more of that business, or are we ready to get into the fun and games?
What else do we usually talk about? No, that's probably about it.
Yeah. Whatever. All right, so you said you had... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was looking back at the season 5 wrap-up video to make sure we weren't missing anything. And our top 5 episodes are all, like, double captains. That's,
Oh, yeah, wow. There were way more captains last season than this season.
Interesting. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That explains why 5 is so much higher in the overall average. Oh, yes, I have 2 things, and you said you have 1 thing?
Yep.
All right, so I'll go, then you can go, and then I'll go.
Sounds good.
Do you want the long or the short one first? I'll let you have some say.
Let's do the short one first.
Okay. I'm going to give the background on this because it went through a lot of iterations.
Okay.
So first I was like, I told you about this previously, but I was like, oh, I'm going to find like some, because Rick Berman is such a like crazy, when we were doing, I was doing the research on like why Terry Farrell left the show and all this stuff about Rick Berman. I was like, I'm going to find like some of these crazy Rick Berman quotes and do a thing that's like, was this Rick Berman or was this like someone else? The current president or whatever. And then I couldn't find any of those. So then I thought, hey, how about this? We'll do like, what was Ira Stephen Bear watching this week on what movie did he watch that an episode is based on? And so I'd like read the movie summary and you have to say what episode it was. But there wasn't a lot of that this season. He's dialed that back. And so then I was like, well, he always says all this crazy stuff. Let's pick some Ira Stephen Bear quotes, and then you have to like say it's mostly what episode is he talking about. And he didn't actually have as many of those this time either, so I ended up taking a couple from like an interview that he did. But most of these are quotes that I have touched on when we did these episodes. So if you've been paying attention to all of the things that I say, you should be able to remember all of these.
Okay.
So there are 9 questions here. We'll see how you do.
So you're going to give me a quote and I have to remember what episode it's about? Most
of them is what episode. There's one that's like what character, but I'll read the question and it'll say what you have to say.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So the first one is, which episode is he justifying here?
Okay.
He says, it had been a long time since we'd done a science fiction episode. We wanted to do another, this character's name, show, and we needed to do something that would be pretty much a bottle show. So what episode is he justifying there?
Man, I remember editing this very recently, so it's a very recent one. I'm gonna say Time's Orphan.
That is correct. It was Time's Orphan.
Nice.
There you go. 1 out of 9 already.
And I'm allowed to look at the episode list, I assume.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Okay. What episode is he talking about here? We'd pulled on that thread for so long without really doing anything with it, and we were running out of time.
I think I vaguely remember that's talking about Odo and Kira. So I'm going to say that was his way.
It was. Good,
nice.
Good, nice. All right. What episode is he talking about here? The whole thing about heroism in this episode, the question of what is a hero, and what value does that have?
Ah, jeez. Is that Valiant?
No, that one was the Magnificent Ferengi.
Okay. Shoot. Makes sense, though.
Yep. Okay, what episode is he talking about here? It's very difficult, for a lot of reasons, to get people on board with stuff like this. And when they do get on board, they tend to go too far, or too broad, or they lose the reality, or they're not comfortable with it. And if any of those things are true, it won't work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is Prophet and Lace.
Yep, that was Prophet and Lace.
I remember having a pretty in-depth discussion about that concept.
It's like, that's one of the ones where I'm like, this is a good quote, but it's not like as bombastic as his usually are, where it's like, this is the greatest thing that ever existed in the universe. So,
I can't believe the New York Times didn't put us on the front page.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of disappointed when I went to do this that there wasn't more of that this season. But speaking of, which episode is he talking about here? We had to do it. We owed it to all the schlock science fiction that had come before us. If we hadn't done it, it would have been a crime. A creative crime. And dare I say, a crime against humanity itself.
I remember you reading that quote. I mean, my first instinct is One Little Ship. But
okay. Is that what you want to go with?
Give me 1 second.
Right.
Yeah, let's go with One Little Ship.
Okay, One Little Ship it was.
Okay.
Nicely done. Okay, You're doing pretty well here. You got like 4 out of the 5 so far.
Nice.
Okay, here's one that was from an interview that, well, you'll see. So, what movie starring Frank Sinatra are we talking about? He says, few people know that the true pilot episode of Deep Space Nine was the movie, insert movie name here. If you watch the DS9 pilot Emissary on one TV and this movie on another TV, you'll be amazed at what you find.
Oh, wow. I mean, I don't think it's the Manchurian Candidate. I don't know very many Frank Sinatra movies. I don't think it's Ocean's 11. I'm not gonna cheat and look up Frank Sinatra movies. Man, let's just go Manchurian Candidate. That's because that's all I can think of.
It actually was Ocean's 11.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How is it Ocean's 11?
I don't know. It was so ludicrous that I was like, okay, that's going in here.
We have to try this experiment now.
Yeah, right? Okay. That's 4 out of 6 now, so we got 3 left.
Okay.
What character did Ira Stephen Bear say is like Maris from Frasier?
Okay, so the thing about Maris is we never see her.
Right.
So, I would go with the guy with the transparent skull, but...
Mm-hmm. Captain Baudet, sure.
We haven't seen him. I don't feel like we've referenced him lately.
What if he shows up now that Dax is dead? He, attends the funeral.
Oh my gosh, I can see that guy's brain. I mean, Morn has some qualities, but...
True.
Let me think for a second to see if there's just any really obvious answers that jump out to me.
Morn is even kind of based on a Cheers character, which I guess Maris is not technically a Cheers character, but Frasier's a spinoff of Cheers. So.
Sure. I'm just going to say Morn, because that's all I can think of.
It is Morn.
Nice.
He talks about that in Who Mourns for Morn.
Nice.
All right, the other one that I pulled from an interview.
Okay.
A questioner asked, when will your book be released? And he says, the book is already in release. If you cannot find it in your neighborhood, move to another one. If you cannot find it in your state, move to another state. You need this book. You will like this book, all in caps. Find this book. What book are we talking about?
Well, I know he wrote the Rules of Acquisition book, so...
He did. True.
That's all I know, so that's what I'm going to go with.
No, it is actually the second book that it's come up several times in the season, or maybe in multiple seasons. It is Legends of the Ferengi. That's where the story of like Sluggo Cola and Eelvasser is told and all of that. And actually,
right.
after writing this quiz up last week, I went out and got Legends of the Ferengi and read it. And it's a thing.
Okay. Is it worth that level of hype?
I would not say it is worth that level of hype. It's so weird because it's like it's a rule of acquisition, and then the story that supposedly like created or justifies that rule of acquisition, but sometimes the story is like so tangential to the rule that like for instance, do you remember what the first rule of acquisition is by any chance?
Is it something like once you have their money, never give it back, or?
Yeah, it sure is. And so the story of that rule, so the very first story in the book is like, there was this merchant who lived on Ferenginar in this city, and he was like the most honest merchant ever. So of course everyone hated and belittled him for being so honest. But one day this guy stopped in and bought a thing. And after the guy left, the merchant realized that he'd given him like too much for the thing. So he shut down his shop and followed the guy to like return his money to him. And while he was out on the road, he was attacked and killed by an assassin because it turns out that guy who had come shopping at his store was having an affair with his wife. And this was all part of an elaborate scheme to murder him. And then he moved in with the guy's wife and took over the shop. And the lesson is, once you have their money, you never give it back.
I mean, that's a really specific situation for a really broad rule, but
yeah. So anyway, it's there's a bunch of crazy stories like that.
Nice. Okay.
Last one. Who is he talking about here? This really made her a tragic figure. It made her a totally screwed up figure, and we now understood her.
What character?
Yep.
Okay, well, she's really tragic. Is it Zial?
It is not. This was Kai Wynn.
When did we learn she was a...
that's when she goes and like stops the the reckoning.
Okay.
Okay, so you got 5 out of 9. Well, that's like 56%. That's not too bad.
Yeah. I could have done better. All right, you ready for this quiz?
Let's do it.
Okay, so coming back to the well of things that have the same titles.
Okay.
So we've done TV show episodes that have the same titles.
Yep.
We've done movies that have the same titles.
Yep.
This season we're mixing it up, but there's a twist. It's titles that are similar to titles.
Okay.
So every round you have the opportunity to win 3 points. So you get 1 point if you get the title of the Deep Space Nine episode that is relevant. You get 2 points if you get the actual title of the thing we're talking about.
Okay.
And then, so for TV episodes, I'm going to tell you the TV show and season and episode. And for movies, I'm going to tell you the year it came out, who directed it, and who the first actor listed in IMDb is.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of details. All right.
So well, and I'm going to give you the synopsis. But
oh, well, yeah, obviously.
If you get it, so first I'll give you those other details.
Mm-hmm.
If you get it before I give you the synopsis and just give you those details, 3 points.
Oh, all right.
Then if I give you the synopsis, 2 points for getting the actual title, and then just 1 point if you can't figure out the actual title, but you know which Deep Space Nine episode we're talking about. So,
okay, fair.
If that point system makes sense.
I think I got it.
Okay.
I think.
So there are 12 of these, so a total 36 points total, but I mean, It's going to be really hard to get 3 points on a lot of these. But I did put in a lot of really easy ones, but there are also a couple of really hard ones. So,
fair.
Here we go. So, number 1. Murder, She Wrote, Season 9, Episode 10.
I've been watching Murder, She Wrote lately. I haven't gotten nearly that far.
Okay, so the synopsis is, Jessica records one of her novels for the blind, and while at the recording studio is invited to a taping of a rock video. When a murder happens during the taping, Jessica tries to find the murderer.
Okay. You get the blind, but also the rock. Like, these are, I'm going to guess the Deep Space Nine episode is the sound of her voice.
Okay.
And then the Murder, She Wrote episode would be like the sound of his voice.
I'm going to give you 1 point.
Oh, okay.
So it is the sound of her voice.
Nice.
The Murder, She Wrote episode is called The Sound of Murder.
Oh, that does fit way better with Murder, She Wrote titles. Yeah, okay.
All right, so I'll give you 1 point for that.
All right.
Okay, next. Power Rangers Hyperforce. I don't know if you ever heard of this show.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay. Season 1, Episode 2. Do you have a guess?
No.
All right.
No.
The synopsis is, after adjusting to their new roles and getting better acquainted with their new time ship, which I know nothing about this show, but...
I mean, I guess they go through time. That's what it sounds like.
The Hyperforce Rangers travel to 1994 Angel Grove in order to search for the Alliance and their leader during the Halloween festivities.
1994 Halloween. Okay, hold on. What could this be? In the pale moonlight, wrongs darker than death or night. All interesting possibilities, I have to say. Okay, I'm gonna guess Time's Orphan is the Deep Space Nine episode.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. But I mean, it could be like Time to Stand. No, okay, I'm gonna go with Time's Orphan.
Okay.
They're both time related, but I'm gonna go for that. And then since it's Power Rangers, I'm gonna guess we're talking like Morphin Time.
Yep, I'm gonna give you 2 points. The title of the episode is It's Morphin Time.
Yeah, there you go.
Good job. I was like, once you see it, it's gonna jump out at you.
Well, yeah, I said Time's Orphan, and then I switched to the other one, and that's the moment where I was like, wait a second. You know what sounds like Orphan? So yeah, okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Next one is Captain Isotope and the Enemy of Space. That's a show.
Sure.
Season 2, Episode 23.
Yeah, I'm not guessing at that.
Yeah. The synopsis is, in dreams, you can't run away from your secrets and fears. As the crew of the Isotope lay their heads down to sleep, they invite their inner ghosts to torment them.
Wow.
I have no clue what this show is about. So,
right.
Captain Isotope is haunted in his sleep by the present, Carter by his past, and Madame Creyus is given a glimpse into her future by a ghost yet to come.
Okay, so it's a weird take on a Christmas...
Yeah, it seems like it, huh?
A Christmas Carol. Sorry, I kept wanting to say A Christmas Story, and I'm like, that's not the name of it. Nope. Okay, so is there anything that sounds Christmas Story-ish? Not really. Not statistical probabilities, I should hope. That would... if one of these is the Magnificent Ferengi, that would be really impressive.
Well, remember, it only has to be a similar title.
Similar. Yeah, okay. Man. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna guess Far Beyond the Stars, because that sounds like it's fitting with that. But I don't even have a guess about what it could be in the thing.
Okay, so that was a little tricky. The Deep Space Nine title that it's similar to is Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night.
Oh, I considered that. Okay, yeah.
And the title of the episode is Dreams Darker Than Night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dreams Darker Than Death or Night. And I was like, that's really specific. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything quite that close, but...
Nah, I'm not surprised.
All right, next up we have a short film from 2022.
Sure.
Directed by Brandon Barton and starring Lizette Oliveira. And I don't think you can get it based on that information.
No, I don't think I can get it based on that information. Nope.
Unless you're just a huge short film fan. So
I am not at all.
The plot is a crusading maniacal preacher and his gunslinging British assistant hunt down modern-day archangels, wholly unaware that they've just come across their biggest foe yet, a 16-year-old girl named Gabby.
All right. All right. Okay, so I gotta say, Sacrifice of Angels really seems like on the nose here. I think almost too on the nose. Like that feels like a mislead when you're just throwing angels right out there at me. But I have nothing else that I could think of that it could be. So I'm gonna go for Sacrifice of Angels, and I'll say like Dancing with Angels. Something I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you're so close.
Oh.
It's so it could either this is similar to two titles.
Oh,
Waltz and Sacrifice of Angels.
Hey, there we go.
And the title of the short film is Waltz of the Angels.
Oh man, you should have been like, it's actually a combination of two of them. That would have I'd be like, His Way with the Angels? Okay.
Yeah, I should have told you that. That would not have made it in if it wasn't similar to two titles.
Fair.
And there was also one called A Time to Mourn, but I just couldn't. It just didn't make it into the quiz.
Sure.
Even though I really wanted to. Okay. Next, we have a movie from 1996, directed by Joel Schumacher, starring Matthew McConaughey.
All right. I mean, 1996 may have been before Matthew McConaughey was huge. I forget, that's before Joel Schumacher's Batman movies for sure. So, okay.
All right, you want to hear the synopsis?
Yeah, I guess you'd better. I can't think of, before Batman Forever. So, unless Matthew McConaughey starred in Batman Forever, then yeah, you're going to have to give me something.
If he did, I don't know if he would have gotten, first build on Batman Forever. But
one wouldn't think, yeah.
IMDb is weird, so... Okay, here's the synopsis. A young Mississippi lawyer defends a black man who killed the two white men that raped his preteen daughter.
Damn. All right. So I assume he's the lawyer, Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if that matters.
He is. This is a pretty well-known movie.
Okay.
In my
a movie I might have heard the title of. Mid-90s. Is that Matthew McConaughey? Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna take a guess at a movie that I think may have had Matthew McConaughey in it in that period. Is it A Time to Kill?
Bam!
And that would be based on A Time to Stand.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That was almost a complete shot in the dark. I had a vague recollection that Matthew McConaughey was involved, having seen it on a movie cover somewhere. So, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah, his client is Samuel L. Jackson.
I was about to say, I feel like I remember this movie cover was Matthew McConaughey and Sam Jackson and a woman or something. I think.
Yeah, I think it was Sandra Bullock or something. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, that's why I didn't do A Time to Mourn, was because I felt like A Time to Kill would be there needed to be an easy one in the quiz, and I didn't want to do two A Time Twos.
Isn't that movie based on a John Grisham novel or something?
Very possible. Very possible.
Okay, hold on. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because I've already gotten the answer right, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, based on John Grisham's 1989 novel of the same name, and it's Sandra Bullock. Yep. Okay. Cool.
Nice. Anything with a lawyer in it.
Yeah. That's a good guess, right? Yeah.
Probably. Okay, this one, I will be impressed if you get this, but I put it in because I know you kind of like Cheers, so
okay.
Or I think you do anyway.
I have seen, I think, all the episodes of Cheers at some point.
Okay.
Never intentionally watched through them all. I assume it's streaming somewhere now.
Yeah. So this is Cheers season 11, episode 4.
Okay. I think 11 was the last season of Cheers.
And this has a very long synopsis, and nothing in this synopsis is going to hint at the title. I'll just tell you that right now.
Oh, great. Okay.
But I'll read it to you anyway. Sam catches Rebecca smoking in the office. A no-no, considering that's how the bar burnt down.
Yep.
Sam thinks Rebecca needs professional help and finds the harshest stop smoking program for her. The stop smoking doctor, Dr. Kluger, and Rebecca have a war of wills. Dr. Kluger may have met his match. Meanwhile, Sam hires Henri on a temporary basis as a bartender while Woody is on his honeymoon. On his first shift, ladies' man Henri bets Sam he can get more women's telephone numbers than Sam by midnight. Although initially reluctant to partake in the bet despite pressure from the gang, Sam eventually does take the bet based on the patriotic battle between the US and France. Both Sam and Henri pull out all stops and resort to whatever tactic will work to get numbers. However, with the score tied with a couple of minutes left, Sam lets one go due to her vulnerable state, which may cost Sam the bet. However, it may be more important ultimately to win the battle.
Wow. Okay. So I'm like looking for like something relating to smoking or fire, even though you said it wouldn't help in any way. Or
Right.
dating. I mean, it's not you're cordially invited. I would assume that doesn't fit that at all. Um. Oh man, I don't. I can't. I don't see anything here. I mean, like maybe it's a play on profit and lace somehow. With they're trying to pick up women, so there's lace. I don't know. It could be a his way thing. I doubt it's the reckoning. That would be a very dramatic name for that episode. It could be like a change of heart thing, maybe. Doesn't seem like a magnificent Ferengi or a waltz or a resurrection. I mean, I don't even know how you'd pick one that was similar to resurrection without just being like something about resurrection. I have no guess about the actual title. I'm gonna go for Profit and Lace.
Nope, sorry. That episode is called The Magnificent Six.
Oh, come on. Do they get like 6 numbers or something? Like what is the Magnificent Six?
I have no clue. I think you just have to watch to find out.
Yeah, boo.
The next is a movie from 2003 starring Bruce Willis, directed by Antoine Fuqua.
Hey, I know. I've heard of that guy. I don't know him. I've heard of that guy.
Oh yeah, Antoine. You got any guesses up front?
Okay, say all of that part again. I was distracted by the Bruce Willis and Anton Fuqua thing.
It's a movie from 2003.
2003, starring Bruce Willis, directed by
Anton Fuqua.
All right. What was Bruce Willis doing in 2003? That was our senior year of high school, so we're talking like after. That's after Sixth Sense.
Definitely.
For sure, but what was he doing in the early 2000s? Like I don't know Anton Fuqua movies, so I'm not basing it on that. I got to go off of Bruce Willis and what he was doing in 2003. Okay, I'm gonna make an effort to get this one before I try to go for the 3 points. I don't think I've managed at 3 points yet.
All right.
Bruce Willis is maybe the actor that you've said that I know the best so far. So hold on, let me. This was before he started being in everything because he needed money. I think this would have been. Oh, yeah. This would have been well before. Yeah, this would have been well before like Looper and Red.
Oh, for sure.
This would have even been before they started doing more diehards, I think. Not that a diehard fits in here. Sin City maybe was around that time, but I don't know that there's a Deep Space Nine episode that sounds like Sin. And also, that's not Anton Fuqua. I know that much.
Right.
Neither is Ocean's 12. The whole 10 Yards also doesn't feel like one of these episodes, and I don't think Anton Fuqua directed that. Was Bandits around that time? But Bandits doesn't really fit any of these either. I really like Bandits, by the way, just in case anyone was wondering. Great movie.
Movie recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'm not going to get the 3 points. Give me the thing.
A special ops commander leads his team into the Nigerian jungle in order to rescue a doctor who will only join them if they agree to save 70 refugees too.
Okay, I didn't see this movie because that doesn't sound at all familiar.
I have not seen this movie either, and I don't think I would have remembered it if I hadn't heard the title first. So,
yeah, I don't think I'm going to get that. I'm sure once you tell me the title, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
But, hold on. I guess I can randomly guess an episode here.
Yeah. Can't hurt.
Could be A Time to Stand.
There's no negative points.
Sons and Daughters seems unlikely. Could be Behind the Lines. That kind of fits real well. We did a waltz already. It's not going to be One Little Ship. Doesn't sound like a Change of Heart or a His Way or a Sound of Her Voice. I'm going to go first or last of the season. Time to Stand or Tears of the Prophets. Tears of the Prophets.
All right, you want to make a guess at what the movie's called?
No, I couldn't possibly.
All right. It is Tears of the Prophets.
What? Okay. Okay. Yay, 1 point. I'll take a point, yeah.
And the movie is called Tears of the Sun.
Oh, that does sound... Okay, yes, I've heard of that. I don't think I could have told you Bruce Willis was in that, but I've heard of that the existence of that movie, yeah.
All right. Next one is a movie from 2001, directed by John Moore, starring Gene Hackman.
Okay, 2001, Gene Hackman. You didn't say Will Smith, so it doesn't sound like Enemy of the State.
Well, remember,
which I think would have been around then.
I only went by whatever the first one was in IMDb.
Yeah.
And IMDb is sometimes weird.
It's sometimes weird. Is there an Enemy of the State? No, there's not really one of that in here. Gene Hackman, I don't know as well. He was in Heist around that time, I think. But I remember we went and saw that movie. It was great because it was like me, you, and Andrew saw that movie, and then like they kept dipping the boom mic into the the print we saw was off or whatever because we kept seeing the boom mic.
Yeah, the projector wasn't matted properly.
Good times. But I don't think there's a...
Also, it's just a fun movie.
It is. It's like everyone needs more money. That's why they call it Money.
Oh yeah, Danny DeVito.
Makes no sense whatsoever. But no, there's nothing that looks like Heist in here. So
I try to imagine a man smarter than myself, and I think, what would he do?
Dude, that's a good... There's a lot of great lines in that movie.
Right?
The story of it is so convoluted, and the ending is kind of depressing in a lot of ways, but it's entertaining. I don't think it's that, though. I'm gonna go for Honor Among Thieves, and the title is something about thieves.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read you the synopsis. So, a disillusioned pilot shot down over war-torn Bosnia goes on the run from the local military and an assassin, as his commanding officer risks all to save him.
So, I'm going to go for Behind the Lines. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. Actually, that's almost striking a chord with me. The word lines. Is the word lines in the title? Is it Behind Enemy Lines?
Yes, it was Behind Enemy Lines.
I did not remember that Gene Hackman was the person in that movie, honestly. But like all of a sudden, when I read Behind the Lines, I was like, wait a second. That sounds similar to a movie that I did see a long time ago.
I don't know if I ever saw that or not.
I'm absolutely sure I saw it like once. I think maybe I rented the VHS or something. But
I think of Owen Wilson as the lead to that movie, not Gene Hackman. But all right. Next up, we have The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode 13.
What sounds like a Real Housewives? I mean, Profit and Lace almost sounds like a Real Housewives things also. But so that'll be my guess somehow.
Nope.
Okay.
All right. So Tamara reveals more surprising information about Ryan, leaving Jen to question her friendship with Tamara once again. Emily and Heather discuss body image. Shannon hosts a tea party to reveal she's taking almost everyone on a trip to London to celebrate her 60th birthday.
Ouch. All right. You're cordially invited could have been a thing, and that even sounds like she's inviting people to London, but it's not like a wedding thing. It's a birthday, so I'm not going to do that. Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night would be very dramatic for that. I'm gonna say His Way, but I'm gonna call it Her Way.
Nope, you touched on it. It was You Are Cordially Invited. And
Okay.
The name of the episode is You Are Cordially Not Invited.
Oh, touche.
Which, that is a line that I cut out of the synopsis because it says, like, she finds out she's cordially not invited.
But in my brain, and maybe it's just because of the relation to Deep Space Nine, I feel like cordially invited is very much a wedding thing, I feel like. But maybe I just have Deep Space Nine in my brain.
Okay, next we have a movie from 1980, directed by Jimmy T. Murakami and Roger Corman, and starring George Peppard.
Ooh, I love George Peppard.
Oh, nice.
He played Hannibal on the A-Team.
Oh.
He loves it when a plan comes together. But I do not know any movies, except for like Breakfast at Tiffany's he was in, but that was way before 1980. So I'm gonna need that summary.
All right. A farm boy recruits a band of outlaws to save the planet Akir from forces that threaten to wipe them out from the face of the universe. A battle stretching... Well, okay. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. A battle stretching... Is it a battle that stretches far beyond the stars? Is Far Beyond the Stars the episode? And then it's like... Battle Beyond the Stars?
That's exactly right. I'll give you 2 points for it. I slipped up there. I should have deleted that last line.
Yep. I totally. Yep.
2 points for that.
Zeroed right in on that screw up. All right.
Yep. Kind of a. I think it's kind of like a cult B movie. I've heard it mentioned here and there.
I don't think I've ever heard of that, but now that I know that it exists and it has George Papard, I might check it out.
I think it's a kind of a famous Star Wars, Roger Corman Star Wars ripoff.
Okay, I believe that.
All right. Next, we have a movie from 2026, directed by Mel Gibson, starring Jim Caviezel.
Not out yet.
Right.
Wait,
not out
Mel
yet.
Gibson and Jim Caviezel?
Correct.
All right. Does any of these sound like Passion of the Christ 2? Not really. Okay. I guess. Wait. No. Okay. Yeah. Just give me the thing.
I'm afraid it's not going to be much help, but plot kept under wraps, described as a sequel to The Passion of the Christ.
Wow. Really? Okay. Oh, Resurrection.
Okay.
I feel like that's the only thing it could be. Is it called Resurrection or The Resurrection or something?
Think about it a little bit more.
Resurrection of the Christ?
Correct.
Okay. Thanks.
It is the Resurrection of the Christ, which I was like, oh, I guess we're doing that. Okay.
If I'd really thought about it more, I probably could have gotten it before the. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You gave up too soon.
I did.
And finally, a movie from 2025, and I don't know if this is out or not.
Hadn't had much time to come out.
Directed by Dan Allen, starring Roxanne McKee.
All right, I don't know who either of those people are, so keep going.
So, after a mother and son get in a car wreck, they soon become hunted by Bambi, a mutated, grief-stricken deer on a deadly rampage, seeking revenge for the death of his mother.
I'm guessing Bambi went into the public domain or something.
Yeah, that's the vibe it has, but I feel like Bambi can't be that old.
Okay, I'm going down the line again. Give me a second here. Sacrifice of Angels. That would. Oh my gosh. Okay, is it like Bambi the Reckoning?
That is exactly what it is.
No, it's okay. That's great. I don't want to watch that, but that's great.
All right, let's see.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so you got a total of 15 points. Out of theoretically 36, but I think realistically 24. So,
oh no, I'm still laughing.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Okay,
so that's a 62.5%.
I'll take that. That's better than I usually do on these. All right.
Yeah, pretty good. I tried to do a mix of easy and hard. So.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. So, what's your last one?
Okay, so the last one also evolved slightly. I started out being like, you know what? We've seen a lot of the cast get into directing.
Sure.
And so I was going to be like, let's look at the other stuff that our cast has directed outside of Star Trek. Ooh. And then try to get you to guess at some of that. It turns out that most of the cast members who directed Star Trek episodes have not directed a whole lot else. But that led me into people who directed episodes of this season and other stuff that they've directed more than one episode of, basically. So what I did was I took each of the guys who directed the season. I found the show that I saw on the list that they directed more episodes of than anything else except for Star Trek.
Okay.
And that was recognizable. If there was one that there's a couple of joke ones in here at the end that are just like, you've never heard of this show, but it's kind of hilarious. So I'll include those for fun at the end. But so what I did is I've got the director. I've got how many episodes they directed out of how many episodes overall of the show to give you an idea of how long the show lasted. And then you will have an opportunity at 3 points each question.
Okay.
I will read the summary of an episode. If you can guess it after that first episode summary, you get 3 points. If not, we'll go to the second one and you get 2 points. And then the third one should be the easiest and you will get 1 point if you guess it after the third one.
Okay, so I'm trying to guess the name of the show?
Yes, the name of the show. Correct. Okay. And so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9, and then there'll be a couple of the fun, silly ones at the end will be worth extra points because I don't think there's any way you could guess them.
Okay.
So there's 11 total, but really 9.
Okay.
And then bonus.
And I'm sorry, these are all directed by Star Trek actors? Or?
By Star Trek by people who directed episodes of this season.
Okay.
Not necessarily actors, because I started out with actors and that didn't work well.
Okay. So just to recap, to make sure I understand, the answer will be a single show.
Yep.
That this director has directed at least 3 episodes of.
Several episodes of, yeah. I think the lowest one on here is like 9 or something. Like these are shows they directed 6. So shows they've directed several episodes of.
All right. Okay. I think I'm
okay.
I'm
so
good.
The first one up is Alan Croker, who directed in this season of Deep Space Nine, A Time to Stand, Sacrifice of Angels, One Little Ship, His Way, Time's Orphan, and Tears of the Prophets. The most of any single director.
Did a lot of work this season.
He did. And so of this other show, he directed 9 of 246 episodes of this show.
Okay. So long-running show.
Long-running show. So the first episode summary, season 1, episode 4, the title of the episode is The Man in the Bear. And the summary is...
In the Bear?
In the Bear, yes.
Okay.
After character name, confirms the hand found in a black bear is from a human male and was hand sawed off days earlier. They are sent to Flathead Indian Reservation in fictional Aurora, Washington state. Dr. Denise Randall, a veterinarian, brought most of the arm of the 18 to 25-year-old victim, on which, character's name, finds human bite marks. Not being cooked.
Oh my goodness.
Not being cooked, that must make the cannibal sick.
Okay. All right, so if I guess and it's wrong, do we just move on to the next one?
Yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
Okay. I'm going to guess that's bones.
It is bones.
Nice.
So 3 points there. Nicely done. Okay, I'm going to have to make a notation about how many points. So 3 out of 3. The other episodes that I had were The Girl in the Gator and The Skull in the Sculpture.
That's right. I remember Bones. All the titles had that format. But I was just thinking, it's like, well, I mean, that hand can't be much more than bones. Wait a second.
I never watched Bones, so I didn't realize that.
It's kind of fun.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, are you an Angel fan?
I like Buffy a lot more than Angel.
Get some David Boreanaz.
Yeah. The second episode, one part of the summary is that David Boreanaz's character is sent to therapy after shooting a clown-shaped speaker on an ice cream truck.
Nice.
So, yeah, you know. All right. Next one.
All right.
Mike Vehar, who directed this season Rocks and Shoals and also Valiant.
Okay. One good and one iffy episode.
He directed 17 out of 139 episodes of this show.
Okay.
The first one that I have is season 3, episode 4. It's entitled Ghost Ship. While mapping some wilderness in Alaska, character name discovers an abandoned ship. On it, a Russian stowaway tells him that the crew were all scared off by Bigfoot.
Huh. Is that the X-Files?
It is not the X-Files, although that would make a lot of sense, right?
There is an episode where Mulder goes to a ghost ship, but there's like literal ghosts on that ship. And
no Bigfoot?
I think that episode was called like Triangle or Bermuda Triangle or something.
Oh, that would make sense, yeah.
Anyway, all right, next one.
Next one is season 7, episode 2, and it's called The Hood with apostrophe HOOD is the title.
All right. Character
name arrives at a new neighborhood in a moving truck. A hood of surfer dudes, scantily clad rollerblade girls, bikers that look at the scantily clad rollerblade girls instead of where they are driving to, weirdos that come out of their house every morning at the same time shouting, "I am alive, I am free," a helpful landlord Mel, and an aspiring actress Kelly from across the street. Then there are 2 rich old men who have nefarious plans for the hood. With neighbors like this, there is no need for criminals, terrorists, or Murdoch.
Murdoch?
Yep.
What is this show? All right, so in season 1...
season 3 was the first one.
He investigated a ghost ship, and there was a Russian guy who said that ship got attacked by Bigfoot. Yep. I guess no confirmation if Bigfoot was actually responsible.
No, we don't know.
And in this one, he moves into a new neighborhood, which... Okay. This is season 7.
It is.
What the heck? All right. I gotta guess something. So, I just got nothing. I'm gonna guess the Supernatural. We'll guess
Nope.
Supernatural. Okay.
Good guess on that one, though. All right, the last one is actually a double because it's a 2-part episode that I will give you both parts descriptions.
Okay.
The episode title is Good Night, character name, and night is spelled Knight. Parts 1 and 2. So, part 1, while researching his family's genealogy, character name discovers that his family name was disgraced during the Middle Ages. He is then knocked unconscious and, not surprisingly, is transported through dreams to the time of King Arthur. Here he must confront some stubborn knights, convince Arthur that he is a friend, and set out in search of his forefathers. And then part 2 is, after outwitting the evil Sir Duncan and escaping the clutches of Morgana, character name and Merlin search for the kidnapped Cecilia. They not only free Cecilia and bring Morgana's wizardry to an end, but they find character name's ancestors as well. Here, the first name of our protagonist is finally revealed.
Oh my gosh.
So, season 7, and the first name of our protagonist is finally revealed.
All right. Is this MacGyver?
It is MacGyver.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Did you know that MacGyver had Bigfoot and time travel through dreams to King Arthur times? Because I didn't.
I did not know that. I just I was, so many seasons. It really felt like it was a one-person focused show.
Yep.
I don't know. And then I was like, oh, is MacGyver is like a Scottish name. I don't know. Even though I guess King Arthur was in England.
Yeah. Those are close together, right?
Sure.
So 1 point for that one. Not bad. Not bad.
All right, I'll take it.
LeVar Burton, who directed Behind the Lines and Resurrection this season, directed 10 out of 155 episodes of this show.
Okay.
So the first one here, season 4, episode 5, is called Viral.
Okay.
Character name is placed on administrative leave when the FBI questions his response in a foot chase to apprehend a high-value fugitive.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of good clues in there. It's called Viral?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to guess the X-Files on this one.
Nope.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess. FBI is in there. Okay. The next one is season 3, episode 7. It's called The Accident.
Okay. Character
must work with his ex-wife, who's spearheading a clinical trial of brain implants in veterans that has been hacked.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, right. That doesn't sound good.
Okay, let me think. We got FBI. We got brain implants, ex-wife. I'm a little more confused now. There's no repeats of shows, right?
No, there's no repeats of shows.
It's not going to be Bones again.
Nope. Brain implants in veterans that's been hacked.
Okay. I'm shocked. I actually can't think of that many shows where the main character is in the FBI.
But they didn't say that the main character was in the FBI.
Oh, okay.
It says the FBI questioned his response, and he's placed on administrative leave. I guess that does sound like he's in the FBI.
Okay. Is this Monk? Can Monk be put on administrative leave?
I feel like probably not. I don't know. He's just not hired on because he's just a consultant, right?
Does Monk even get paid?
That is a good question, actually. I feel like he does because he has to pay the lady who works for him.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now I want to go back and watch some Monk. Although I watched it when it first aired and I loved it, and I tried watching it more recently, and it's just it makes me cringe so badly at some of the stuff that he does that I kind of couldn't watch it. Okay. Number 3 is once again a 2-parter, so you'll get 2 episode summaries to help you out.
Okay.
Season 7, episodes 5 and 6. It's called Operation Drano, parts 1 and 2.
Okay.
So part 1, as they investigate a suspicious death, and the missing key piece of evidence is... I'm sorry, that's just a weirdly constructed sentence. As they investigate a suspicious death, and the missing key piece of evidence is a top-secret high-tech battery, character and the team realize there could be deadly consequences if it falls into the wrong hands. And then part 2, when a torpedo hits a fishing trawler at sea, the entire Gulf Coast is in jeopardy as character and acronym race to find the submarine before it can strike again.
Is this like NCIS?
Original NCIS? NCIS LA, Hawaii, New Orleans, what's Australia, Sydney? Is that
I'm
one?
going to guess original NCIS.
That is so close. It was NCIS New Orleans.
No.
So I feel like we'll give you like a half point on that.
Okay.
Half point out of 3. I didn't realize I like NCIS New Orleans quite a bit actually, and I didn't realize LeVar Burton had directed so much of that.
I mean, LeVar Burton's out there. He's he's a good director. So
yeah. All right. Next is Vinrich Kolbe.
Oh yes,
who directed in this season Favor the Bold and The Sound of Her Voice.
Okay.
He directed 14 out of 90 episodes of this show.
Okay.
So the first one, season 2, episode 10, is called Ring of Fire. When a convicted murderer escapes from prison, his young wife sends a distress call to the Foundation. Character and character head to the Louisiana Bayou, where the murderer is being protected by his father, the judge.
Okie doke. So there's a foundation.
Yep.
Is this like Knight Rider?
It is Knight Rider.
Oh my gosh.
That is well done. I was expecting, because most of the episodes of Knight Rider have Knight in the title, and I specifically started with the one that didn't, and the other two I had were Halloween Night with a K and Knights of the Fast Lane. And so I thought that we might have to get into the Knights before you got it, but well done.
I think something about the Foundation, I was like, what show has a foundation in it?
I never watched any Knight Rider, so I'm not familiar with the Foundation.
I haven't watched it in so long, but...
Well done. 3 out of 3 on that one. Okay.
Nice.
The next one is Anson Williams, or Potsy from Happy Days, who directed Statistical Probabilities in this season.
Okay.
He also directed 10 out of 163 episodes of this show.
Okay.
So the first one I have is season 6, episode 10, Deliver Us from Email. Uh-huh. And the summary is, Katrina gives character name a virus that turns her into an airhead. She also wants to start her own column in the paper.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, but that was a good, that's a logical guess there.
Okay.
The next one is season 7, episode 15. The title is Cirque du character's name. So after a character's room turns into a circus tent, she must walk up and down the tightrope until she finds a balance in life between boyfriend, friends, and her job.
Is this Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
It is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. 2 out of 3.
Nice.
The last one I have is called Sabrina the Muse.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the exact same summary you gave me for one before. So I was like, oh, he'll get it on this for sure, if not before that.
Right. Hopefully.
Okay. This one has some very long episode summaries. So I'm hoping you somehow get it after the first one.
Okay.
Chip Chalmers, who directed The Magnificent Ferengi, directed 27 out of 219 episodes of this show.
Wow.
So the first one, season 1, episode 29, it's called Pas de Trois, or Pas de Trois.
Pas de Trois, okay.
The summary is, Lucy announces that she is engaged to be married. During Lucy's office engagement party, Allison watches Amanda flirt with Billy and begins to question her own feelings for him. Meanwhile, Michael and Kimberly continue their torrid affair. But when Allison accidentally finds out, she quarrels with Michael and herself over whether or not to tell Jane. Also, Jake has a problem with paying the IRS $8,400 for his bike shop until Joe offers him a less than legal shortcut.
What?
So many names in this one.
I don't know. Dawson's Creek?
That's a good starting guess, but no.
Okay.
Okay, the second one is season 7, episode 17, and it's called When Cheerleaders Attack.
Okay.
Kyle finally learns the connection between Eve and Amanda that was in Matt's journal. When they tell him their story of going to high school together, and the night when they murdered Eve's abusive football player boyfriend after he attacked the girls, which Eve took the fall and spent 15 years in prison. Eve and Amanda then plead to Kyle to keep their history a secret, who reluctantly agrees. Later, Eve and Peter's honeymoon is temporarily interrupted by a nude Lexi making a play for him, who in return threatens her. Meanwhile, Michael goes easy on Jane at their divorce deposition after being told by Megan about Jane's health.
What the heck?
That night, a drunken Lexi makes a scene at the jazz club in which Ryan and Megan have to subdue her, which seems to bring them back together. Also, Amanda considers, quote, signs that she should reevaluate her life with Kyle of starting a family.
how many characters are in this show?
I know, right? It's funny because you can track some of them from season 1 to season 7 with these two summaries, but there's so many that aren't involved in both. So
okay. So what are some ones that we have in common? I think I heard Amanda in both of them.
So for instance, Michael and Kimberly in season 1 are having a torrid affair, and in season 7, Michael is going easy on Jane at their divorce deposition because of her health.
Okay.
So that one carries over, I guess. What else? Amanda was flirting with Billy in season 1, and apparently is part of one of the cheerleaders that murdered someone, and that's revealed in season 7.
But that was a flashback, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Beverly Hills 90210?
Real good guess, but no. It's one more. Season 3, episode 18. So in between these other two. It's called Another Perfect Day in Hell.
Okay.
So, starting with Kimberly, who you'll remember was the one having a torrid affair with Michael.
Okay, sure.
Kimberly becomes nervous when the hospital's new chief of staff, Dr. Calvin Hobbs, issues a psychology evaluation. I know, right? Issues a psychology evaluation for the employees because she knows about her psychotic tendencies. So she resorts to hiring 2 thugs to beat up Matt in order to avoid the evaluation, since Matt is coordinating the tests. Meanwhile, an unusually pale, spelled P-A-I-L, and emaciated Amanda starts giving everyone a hard time at work. Billy thinks she looks sick and asks Michael to inconspicuously examine her during a formal charity ball. Allison's sister Meredith arrives in town for a visit and falls for Billy. Sydney begins participating in Martin's activities, much to Jane's disapproval, while at the same time, Sydney gets blamed for a series of incidents at Melrose, starting when Joe's apartment is broken into and all her camera equipment is stolen. Then Jane's apartment is broken into and her dress designs are ruined. Then Shooter's is broken into and trashed, and Jake blames Sydney, despite her watertight alibi. But the real culprit is Ricky, who, acting under orders from Martin Abbott, is plotting to turn Sydney's friends against her to draw her closer to them.
Okay. Well, I heard the word Melrose in there, so I'm just going to say Melrose Place.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my gosh.
It was just so ludicrous.
I now know why I never watched this show.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of reasons.
No regrets.
Yeah. No regrets. Okay. We got a couple more of the serious ones here.
Okay.
1 out of 3 for that one. So Victor Lobel, who directed Who Mourns for Warren and In the Pale Moonlight this season, also directed 27 out of 211 episodes of this show.
Okay.
So the first one, season 3, episode 15, Smoke Screen. Mark is a distinguished lawyer who returns to his old neighborhood. He represents a tobacco company in a class action suit. What Mark does not know is that his mother, who worked for the tobacco company, has lung cancer.
So Mark is a lawyer?
Yep, a distinguished lawyer.
Are we setting up Mark? Is Mark the main character?
Well, this is a season 3, episode 15, so that would be tricky.
So Mark goes into town to sue what? Sue a cigarette company?
So he returns to his old neighborhood. He's representing a tobacco company in a class action suit.
Okay. And then, but his mom got lung cancer from those cigarettes.
Presumably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my brain turned off for a little bit there, I guess. Okay. Is this like Boston Legal?
No, that would make sense though, right?
All right.
That would have been good. Second one, season 3, episode 8. The Sky is Falling is the title. Monica is assigned to help Leonard, who has fears of Halloween. Monica first worked with Leonard in 1938, the day that Orson Welles broadcast his War of the Worlds radio story. Both Monica and Leonard carry dread from that day.
Okay, so this is like an old 1938?
That's when she first worked with Leonard, yep.
Okay. I assume Monica and Leonard aren't like 100 years old. So, okay. Let me think. How old is Victor Lobel? This makes me wonder.
Right? Okay, yeah, that's a fair question.
Victor
Lobel. Let's find out. He was born in 1940.
Okay.
Married a woman named Christina Pickles.
So this could be like a 70s show, an 80s show. Man, I got nothing. Let's think. Let's try. Man, what is this? Matlock?
Nope.
Okay.
Not a bad guess either. Last one. Season 3, episode 24. These all happen to be from season 3.
Huh.
At Risk. The Angels try to help troubled teens that commit crimes by matching them up with disabled children.
Oh, is this Touched by an Angel?
It is Touched by an Angel. Yeah, that one, I made that one real easy for the last one.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay.
That makes it make more sense now.
Yes, right? I thought maybe the 1938 one would give you, but yeah, okay. There's 2 more regular ones, and then we'll have a couple of fun ones. And we're done.
Okay.
So, next one is Alan Eastman, who directed Honor Among Thieves. Apparently, his name is Halden Darrell Alan Eastman.
Cool.
First, there was a fun one that I would have picked because it was the one he directed the most of, except that you have probably never heard of this one. He directed 42 out of 114 episodes of a show called The Littlest Hobo, which appears to be about a dog.
Okay.
But he also directed 3 out of 152 episodes of this show.
Okay.
Season 4, episode 18 is called Monster. A group of talented psychics are gathered together in an underground bunker for a military project. But then some kind of mysterious assailant begins to murder them one by one.
This sounds familiar. Is this the X-Files?
No, I kind of thought you might guess X-Files on that one because it does sound right.
I mean,
no.
You said season 5, right?
This was season 4, actually.
Okay. Well, still, I feel like I would have known if I'd seen that episode in season 4 or 5. Oh, well.
The second one is another season 4. This one is episode 4. It's called In Another Life.
Okay.
A despondent man is pulled into a parallel universe full of different versions of himself and is given a mission to track down and kill one of them.
Okay, so is this like The Outer Limits?
It is The Outer Limits. It is the 90s version of The Outer Limits, but yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought by the second one on that, you'd be getting the idea that they're like independent stories, so it would have to be like a Outer Limits or Twilight Zone or something.
Yeah. Yeah, with concepts like that, it really narrows it down pretty fast.
Yep. I like the last one. It was called Beyond the Veil, and it's about a guy who was abducted by aliens and then ends up in like an institute, except the staff is acting really weird and making all the patients relive their experiences, and then like, wait, are these guys also aliens?
What a twist.
Yeah. Okay, last normal one here.
Okay.
Jonathan West, who directed Wrongs Darker Than Death or Night, directed 6 out of 178 episodes of this show.
Okay.
Season 5, episode 22 is called Oh My Goddess. And this is part 1 of Oh My Goddess. The sisters are visited by a white lighter from the future, Chris Perry, who informs them that a new threat, the Titans, have been awakened. The Titans, who are looking for white lighters, come after Paige and Leo discovers their plan.
The sisters.
Yeah. If you're familiar with the show, real familiar, I assume words like white lighter and things would make sense, but if not, they probably don't.
I'm gonna guess Xena Warrior Princess.
Ooh, nice, but no.
Okay.
The second one. Season 8, episode 7, The Lost Picture Show. Paige's father returns, asking for her help with a demon who has a fetish for being behind the camera.
Is this supernatural?
Nope, not supernatural.
Okay.
Season 8, episode 20 is the last one. It is called Gone with the Witches. Christy has now managed to convince Billy that the Charmed Ones are too self-obsessed to help the, quote, greater good.
Was there a show called Charmed?
There is a show called Charmed. That is, in fact, what we're looking
And is this
for.
it?
Yep.
Okay. I would not have gotten that without the word charmed being in there, so.
Yeah. That one, I try to make the third one easy enough on all of these that you could get
right.
it, so, yeah. Okay, then to show you the kind of things I was struggling with when I was just going for actors.
Okay.
Michael Dorn was on here as having directed 1 out of 88 episodes of a show.
Okay.
And so the 1 episode summary, season 4, episode 21 is called Val Who Cried Wolf. And the summary is Val's Hollywood idol, stand-up comedian Scott Thaler, famous for the Jimbo character movies, hires VIP after receiving death threats. Randall Waring is indeed hell-bent on extorting him, but Scott, who constantly jokes and lies about everything, keeps their common past even from VIP. Meanwhile, Kay has various dealings with a fellow Jimbo superfan.
Wasn't there a show called VIP?
Yes, it is. It is a show starring Pamela Anderson called VIP.
I didn't realize it ran for that long.
I did not also. I also had no idea it ran. I totally did watch some episodes of that show, but I did not realize it ran for nearly that long.
I feel like I always saw like commercials for that show, but I never knew when it was on. So, like a lot of shows from the 90s.
These are worth like 2 bonus points each because they're so weird. So you get 2 points for that.
I'll take those.
And then Renee Auberjonois directed 2 episodes out of 24 episodes of this show.
24, okay.
Yeah. Season 1, episode 6 is called The Fondle Workout.
Ugh.
Lupe learns that Hillary wants to have a baby and becomes convinced that Jerry is the chosen father.
If this is a show I've heard of, I'll be amazed. But, see, there's only 24 episodes, so it's like, it's not going to be something major that I've heard of.
No, it is not.
During Renee Auberjonois' lifetime.
Yeah, they gave him 2 episodes of this 1-season show, so they liked him, I guess.
Yeah, I got nothing. What's the other one?
Season 1, episode 23 is called Gorilla My Dreams. When the Stonehills throw a costume party, Randolph forces Rick to masquerade as him in a gorilla suit while he goes to play poker. A real gorilla shows up and complicates things.
How did the gorilla get there?
That's a great question.
Is this like that caveman TV show?
You mean like the Geico cavemen or whatever they were?
Yeah. I don't even think it lasted 24 episodes, but there were some hints like Stonehills, a gorilla shows up. I don't know.
No, this is a show called Marblehead Manor.
Okay.
Which starred some people that I've never heard of for the most part. Although Michael Richards is here, I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's Rick. Was Rick in one of these? Yes, Rick is the one who has to dress up as a gorilla. So there you go.
Nice.
So it's the series concerned the goings-on at the estate of the wealthy eccentric Randolph Stonehill, heir to a corn oil fortune, and involved long-suffering butler and head of the household Albert, and groundskeeper Rick, and maid Lupe, and so on and so forth. So,
okay.
Yeah, not a popular show.
Yeah,
as far as I can tell. All right, well, let's see how you did on this one. We got 3, 4, so 14 out of possible 27, but then you got the 2 bonus points for VIP, so that's 16 out of 27, so 59%.
All right,
not bad.
That's about the same. About the same as my 56 from the first one.
Yeah.
So,
batting consistently.
Right. And then you got 62.5. So I guess, yep.
I win season 6. Woohoo!
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we've wrapped up the season pretty well. So we've gotten it out of our system. We're ready for season 7. Unless you want to rebrand as Undeclared Becker and continue the career of Terry Farrell.
Just follow Terry Farrell. It's been a long time since I watched Becker. So.
This always has been just a Terry following the career of Terry Farrell podcast.
Yeah, you just didn't know it.
If you thought this had something to do with Star Trek, you're sadly mistaken.
You missed all the episodes about her modeling career and what have you.
Yeah. They're there if you just go look for them. So
or after season 7, we could move into the Dead Zone and follow a different actress's career.
Ooh! I never watched the Dead Zone. I've seen the movie The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken.
Yeah, the TV show that was based on the same source material but not related to the movie.
Okay, so it's about a guy.
And I actually.
A guy who can see, like, what's that movie about?
You're like, wait, what was that about?
Yeah, Christopher Walken can see visions of the future or something, and at the end, he tries to assassinate a senator because he sees a vision that the senator is going to get elected president and start World War III.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched the show, but I feel like there's a lot of similarities between the two.
Yeah, cool. Now I do kind of want to watch it.
But I absolutely started watching that show because of a specific actress that I was following from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So we'll get there.
And it must be a spoiler, because otherwise you would have said who it is.
No, not necessarily.
Oh.
It could be Nana Visitor, non-visitor.
Sure.
Or Kai Wynn, whose name I've forgotten.
Louise Fletcher.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll call it there. Thank you for listening to us this season. We'll be back with more fun adventures next season. Maybe more bits and more stuff. Who knows? Who knows what new levels this show can reach? I mean, we're always pushing the envelope of what can be done on a Deep Space Nine podcast. So
we really. Yeah. That's us.
But yep. Until then, just remember. What's my? Oh, I didn't write it. When in doubt, bring Garrick along.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
True.
Just whatever's in my notes from the last thing we recorded. So
I think it works. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.
All right. Bye-bye.